welcome back to our video series about how Hamilton works musically. You're in for a real treat today because we're going to be playing a game called What Did I Miss?
What did I miss?
And in this game, I go back to my first two How Hamilton Works videos and go over some of the things I missed the first time around. And if you haven't seen them yet, please click on them now. It'll really help provide the context for this video. So what did I miss? Well, one thing that I missed is that the secret song, the song that's featured in the show but not on the album, is called Tomorrow There'll Be More of Us. It's basically a reprise of the story of Tonight sung by John Lawrence. While I did mention there was a secret song there, I didn't mention it by its correct title. So here it is corrected. Something else I missed is that at the beginning of the song, what I miss, the My Shot anthem is actually combined on top of the Alexander Hamilton chord progression. Now, just to be clear, we're not calling it the Alexander Hamilton chord progression because it represents Alexander Hamilton. We're calling it that because it comes from the song Alexander Hamilton, which is the opening number of the entire show. And in that opening number, we basically get the first 15 or 17 years of Hamilton's life. So we have some notion that the Alexander Hamilton chord progression condenses and abridges time, in this case, 15 to 17 years into 4 minutes to set up the next important scene. It represents the act of moving the narrative along. And in a way, Lin-Manuel Miranda is tipping his hand towards us. It would seem the My Shot anthem is actually a variation of the Alexander Hamilton chord progression. If you take the bass up, and add a few notes, you get the My Shot anthem. Now here they are combined. Notice how they're in unison on the downbeats. So musically, we can hear the Alexander Hamilton chord progression, which represents the need for narrative drive, is built into the DNA of the My Shot anthem, which represents a call to revolutionary action and, more broadly speaking, ambition. So why does Lin-Manuel Miranda set up these elaborate connections? Well, one reason why is he sets them up so that he can break them. The Alexander Hamilton chord progression appears in Alexander Hamilton, A Winter's Ball, Guns and Ships, What I Miss, The Adams Administration, and Burn. The first 5 of these songs feature Aaron Burr asking a question. How does
a bastard, orphan, son of a whore?
How does a bastard,
Orphan, son of a whore?
how does a ragtag volunteer army in need of a
How
shower?
does the bastard, orphan, immigrant, decorated warfare?
How does Hamilton, the short-tempered protean creature?
These questions are narrative devices used to bring us up to speed on some exposition to set up the next scene. But this pattern is broken with Burn. Aaron Burr and his questions are nowhere to be found. Instead, we get Eliza burning letters that Hamilton once wrote to her. These are letters that might have helped Hamilton's legacy. Something else that I missed is that Burn is also the combination of 2 themes: the Alexander Hamilton chord progression and the satisfied pentatonic runs. In the bass, we get the standard Alexander Hamilton chord progression: B, F sharp, G, D, but instead of the turnaround that went up to the A sharp in the bass, it goes to E. And the second time around, we get B, F sharp, G, D again, but this time it goes down to C sharp and back to B. On top of that, we have B, D, F sharp, G, F sharp, D, and as the chord changes to F sharp major, we get A sharp, C sharp, F sharp, G, F sharp, C sharp, and back to B, D, F sharp, G, F sharp, D, and then we go back up to G, F sharp, D, G, F sharp, D. Here it is combined. So why would Lin-Manuel Miranda combine these two themes together? He's trying to tell us something musically. In a song where Eliza sings,
I'm erasing myself from the narrative.
It's even more heartbreaking that she uses the Alexander Hamilton chord progression, which symbolizes forward narrative motion, in order to sing about stopping the narrative. No longer a narrative device, the Alexander Hamilton chord progression here becomes a commentary on narrative devices. And it's combined with the satisfied run, which represents family duty, because Eliza is burning the letters to protect her family. But the satisfied run has been altered, turned into the minor mode with a more angular presence. This is the dark side of family duty. That sometimes in order to preserve your family's history, you have to destroy it. Burn is the last time we hear the Alexander Hamilton chord progression. But being the composer that he is, Lin isn't done with it yet. He finds a way to make it matter at the end and come full circle. The Alexander Hamilton chord progression is almost always in B minor, with the chords being B minor, F sharp major, G major, and D major. So it's a wonderful moment when we get to the finale of the show, Who Lives, Who Dies, Who Tells Your Story, and Eliza emerges singing,
I put myself back in the narrative.
with a new chord progression, one that recombines the chords of the Alexander Hamilton chord progression into something new and Eliza's very own. It is D major, F sharp major, B minor, and G major. Musically, we can hear that Eliza has taken the Alexander Hamilton chord progression and remade it in her own narrative vision. And just as Eliza has decided to put herself back in the narrative and shape Hamilton's story, Lin-Manuel Miranda reshapes the Alexander Hamilton chord progression to be in the major key to provide the major key solace that the Alexander Hamilton chord progression was never able to have. And perhaps it's appropriate that we call this the Eliza chord progression, because even though it's Alexander's legacy, it no longer belongs to him, but to Eliza who's shaping it and handing it down to us. In other words, Lin is suggesting that keeping alive our history, or our collective narrative, should be an ambition that we all have. Thanks again for watching. You know the drill: like, subscribe, comment, and I'll see you in the next video.